In this video, I'm going to be sharing some really useful Windows tips, tricks, and functionality, especially for architects and Revit users. Let's go! Now, if you would like to master Revit, go to balkanarchitect.com. I'm going to link it up in the cards above and then also down in the description of this video. We are an Autodesk authorized training center and we offer over 150 hours of content dedicated to all of the interesting and complex topics inside of Revit. Now, without any further ado, let's jump straight into my empty, dark desktop. So tip number one for Windows is going to be starting programs. So instead of searching for a desktop shortcut or something like that, you simply hit the Windows key just like this, and then you can type something out like this. And for example, here I can start Revit if that's what I want to start. Tip number two for Windows is pasting multiple things from the clipboard. So for example, here, let's say I want to create a formula for the height of this table family, and for the height I want it to be, let's say, width minus or length minus width for whatever reason. So what I can do is I can just copy the name of this parameter, Control C, and then I can go here to height, Control V, then I go minus. Now I want to copy the width. So when I click here, it's going to tell me that no, I cannot go outside of the formula before I finish it. So let me delete this and show you an easier approach. So you copy the length and then I would copy the width, so Control C, and then I go here to height, and instead of Control V for paste, I would go Windows button V. That's going to open up the clipboard, and here you can see all of the other things that I have copied in the past. So here I can just go with length minus, and then again Windows V, width, and I can finalize my formula just like that. Moving forward to tip number three for Windows, and that's opening up the File Explorer. So instead of searching for an icon or something like that, you simply hit that same Windows button and E, so Windows plus E, and that's going to open up the File Explorer. So here I can now open up one of the folders. Tip number four is for renaming files. So you probably know that for files you can select them, right click, and then you can find, okay, here's rename. So that's one approach. The second approach is to click on it and then wait a little bit and then click again, and then you can rename it. But of course, if you do it too fast, it's going to start opening that file, and if it's a big file you have to wait for a while, so it's annoying. So a much quicker approach is to simply click on a file, hit F2, and now you can rename it. It's the easiest and best way to rename files, in my opinion. Tip number five for Windows has to do with previewing your files. So for example, here I have this file, but I don't really know what's here. And now if I click on details, and you can see nothing really happens. The reason is I have to expand this a little bit, and then I can have this details panel where I can actually see inside of this, in this case, Revit file, what's there. Plus I have some additional details like the date and the file size and the file type and so on. So I can turn it off here or turn it on the same button. Tip number six for Windows has to do with file extensions. So here, for example, I'm not really sure which one of these is a Revit project and which one is just a Revit family. Now, I can determine that by looking at the file extension, but unfortunately here we cannot see it. So a way to view that is just to go here to View, open up the drop menu, go to Show, and then here we have the file name extensions. You click on that, and now you can see here this RVT, that's Revit project. This one is RFA, that's your Revit family, and so on and so forth. So this is a really easy way to see file extensions. You can even change them if you want for specific things like changing an Excel file into a text document or TXT extension or something like that. Now, I don't want to see this all the time, so let's just go back to View, Show, and then you can turn it off over here. Tip number 7 for Windows is to use multiple desktops as an architect. So for example, here I'm working in Revit, and it can get a little bit clogged up when you have Revit open, you have some PDFs open, perhaps your email, Notion, and so on. So in order to keep things organized, you can create a separate desktop for, let's say, Revit, or for your emails and Notion and so on. So you just hold the Windows key, Shift and D, and that's going to create a new desktop. Then you just hold the Windows and Shift and use the arrow keys, and that's going to just toggle through your desktops. Tip number 8 for Windows is that Windows now actually has speech to text integrated, so you can use the Windows H shortcut to do that. So for example, here I have this length parameter, it's controlled by the formula and I don't want people to change it. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go here to edit parameter and then go to edit tooltip. And here I just want to write a tooltip, but I don't like typing it out. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go with Windows H. That's going to open up this little thing, and now I can just click and then start typing. So here I have connected this to a different mic. So now here I can speak. Please do not change this parameter. You have to click to stop it from working, and there we go. So now instead of having to type this out manually, I have managed to solve this simply by speaking it out. It's great for emails or for creating a lot of text without having to type it out. And then when you're done, you can simply hit here close, or just use the Windows H shortcut for that. Tip number 9 for Windows is using emojis. So for example, you want to add emoji with the text here for this tooltip. So what you can do is just hold the Windows key and then dot. And then here you can open up your emojis. You can even add some GIFs and so on. So for example, if you're looking for a special character, like let's say the copyright symbol, here you can edit that quite easily. Tip number 10 for Windows is changing the keyboard. So if you're from a non-English speaking country, as a lot of my audience is, and I am too, you might have a different keyboard for your language, your native language, apart from English. So you might sometimes be typing out in English and sometimes in your native language. So for example, for me, my name is Miloš, but I only can add S here with the English keyboard. Now I have set up my local Serbian keyboard that has the special symbol for the last letter in my name, and then if I want to activate it, instead of having to go down to the taskbar and then finding it, I can just use the Windows key and space, and that's going to toggle, and now I can add the sh character here, and I can easily toggle. And then if I want to go back, again, just the Windows key and space, and then I'm back to my original English keyboard that I have set up. Tip number 11 is for recording your screen. So I create a lot of tutorials, so I record my screen a lot, and I have special software for that, but you can actually do that within Windows, and this is really great for sharing some tips or just some ideas to people without having to use any additional software. So what you do is you just hold Windows, Alt, and R, and that's going to start this recording over here. So now you can record your screen, kind of show your project, explain whatever you want to explain. These are the parameters, so on and so forth. And then once you're done, you can simply go here to stop that recording. Now, if you're interested, well, where is that recording? So what you need to do is you need to open up the File Explorer, which is Windows E. And then here you go to your PC, local disk, and then you find your users, and then let's go with the this PC, and then here you should be able to find videos, and here we have our captures, and yeah, this is the capture. So this is how that works. You can open it up, and yeah, you can see this, share it with somebody, and so on. And finally, tip number 12 for Windows for architects is that you can actually extract text from images by using the snipping tool. So here I'm just going to use the snipping tool to create a snip of this detail, or a roof detail that I found on Google. So I'm just going to go here to New, and then grab this like so. And now you have this button over here that's called Scan Text. You click on that, it's going to scan the text on that image, and you can just copy that text and then use it. So if you quickly want to extract text from a certain image, this is an easy way to do so. And that's going to conclude this video. So I hope you have liked it. Please tell me in the comment section below which one of these tips have you actually used in the past and which ones were perhaps new to you. Also, please tell me if this is something that you like, because I can make more videos. So for example, there is Power Toys, which is a free Microsoft extension for Windows that gives you a lot more interesting tools and features. So perhaps I can review those if you're interested. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.